So we're clear about the open source benefits, right? There are a wide variety of low-cost plugins, free or free plugins, tools, and frameworks. There's a lot of value out there. And there are free application servers out there. There's there's JBoss, there's the reference platform, Glassfish, and then there's of course all of the the vendor application servers as well. And then there's also now free lifecycle tools. So where we can go to Borland, Mercury, Rational for commercial lifecycle tools, but there are also great lifecycle tools in open source. Subversion, XPlanner, Bugzilla, Mylar, Continuum are all examples that we find internally. They're first class, and we also use these tools internally. So there's lots of benefit to be had. But then the issues that we find are that there's a lack of integration out there. There's clear benefits in open source, right? But the issues and the stumbling blocks and the barriers to realizing that benefit are lack of integration. These tools are typically tools and frameworks in open source are developed by an individual group, and they're not really designed to work together as a complete stack. When you go to a vendor like Borland or Mercury or Rational, you're looking at a full integrated stack of lifecycle tools that are designed to work together. In open source, they're independent, they're individual. So there's that lack of integration, and that that doesn't facilitate team communication and collaboration. We also see that there's a lack of visibility overall into the development process. When you adopt 5 or 6 different open source tools and plug them together, they're not providing you with overall visibility into your project. Each tool might be a great tool and might give you good insight into the artifacts and status of that particular tool, but it doesn't give you a team perspective and give you overall insight into the health of the project or the tasks for the project overall. And then it doesn't, and also you want, as an individual developer, you want to know where your role is. Where are you in that project status? What are the bugs that are assigned to me? What are my tasks to do today? And then lack of individual productivity. And this is something that we heard a lot from JBuilder developers, that JBuilder developers who tried Eclipse saw a decrease in productivity and subsequently either switched back to JBuilder or decided that Eclipse wasn't quite ready for them. That Eclipse and open source provides a lot of free tools, libraries, and functionality, but they're not designed with productivity or rapid application development in mind. And we heard this time and time again talking to JBuilder developers or developers who had used JBuilder in the past and were now using Eclipse, that they were all suffering from loss of productivity. And then finally, configuration chaos. And this was something that any organization that has adopted Eclipse, we heard time and time again, that they spend a lot of time configuring their environments, and the problem gets much larger as you scale the team. When you have one developer configuring his environment, it's called flexibility. When you have 50 developers individually configuring a complex environment, then it's chaos. So this became is a problem that basically starts to occur when the team gets beyond 1 or 2 developers. So in JBuilder 2007, our focus was to help you as an individual developer and as a team become successful with adopting open source and realizing the benefits of it. We want you to embrace open source. We think that there's a lot of benefit there. We believe in open source. We use it ourselves. But in order for you to be successful and to realize the benefit, we need to help you do that. The last thing you want to do is realize the benefit, is adopt open source for free tools and then lose productivity, increase the cost of your development, and increase the chaos in your environment. So suddenly, now you've got some free tools and some free frameworks, but now your cost of development, tripled. So what we want you to do is realize the benefit of it and keep all those benefits that you had in the past with tools like JBuilder. So JBuilder 2007 is designed to help you be successful with that, to help you realize the potential and the benefits of open source and to become successful in both developing and deploying with those technologies. We're also designed JBuilder to help you blend open source with your commercial tools and servers from commercial vendors. So if you're using an application server from IBM, BEA, Sun, Oracle, or Borland, any of the commercial vendors. We've designed it so that that you can still use the open source tools and frameworks and pieces along with those commercial vendors' application servers, as well as open source application servers. And then finally, to give teams team velocity, we've designed JBuilder so that you can manage your teams, projects, and configurations across your organization. So we've built features in that you'll hear a lot more about in detail, like Project Assist and Team Assist, that take these different tools, blend them together, and provides communication and collaboration layer that embraces them and creates kind of what you would expect from a single vendor, but it's made up of open source components. So, kind of to get inside our head on what we kind of set as a minimum bar for us. Anytime we build a feature or we build an area in JBuilder, we're focusing on increasing either your individual or your team productivity, and we set a bar of 25 to 33%. So that means that using JBuilder in any feature area, we're aiming at it increasing your productivity by a third. That either means that you can get the project at a minimum, get a project to deployment or to market in a third less time, or it means you can get a third more, a third larger scope of the project, third more features, or you can reduce development costs by a third. But ultimately, it's about creating that kind of value, and that's our minimum bar. When we talk to developers, obviously, sometimes that's 300%, or three times faster, or three times more features. But we set as a minimum bar 1/3. You can kind of add that up. We also price the products as well in the same vein. So if we're aiming at saving a team a third of their development costs, we price the products at about a tenth of the value on average, basically based on development costs. So.